turkeys in here today?
Any what?
Turkeys.
Any turkeys?
Yeah, I'm one.
We got one. Okay. Have a safe day tomorrow, sir. Greetings. Welcome to our pre-Thanksgiving Wednesday session. This is going to be a question and answer session. Anybody here that hasn't been here before? I think I recognize most of the faces already. What we do on these days is we go through a period of collecting questions that you might have, and then we try to answer them and see whether or not we can stump the audience or stump the moderator here. So let's start with that and see if I can find where I've got the questions. All right, does anybody have a question?
This is a question about mail, Jerry, and it comes under the heading of we've become way too jaded, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is there a way when you have mail open and you have several unopened emails of clicking just one button and having them advance without having to move the mouse or to move your finger on the trackpad? Is there, like on the iPad and on the iPhone, you have a button you can push that advances to the next email. Yeah. I looked for a next button, I couldn't find it.
On the iPad, you have one?
Yeah.
Arrow down.
No, I'm talking about on my laptop.
Yeah, Mac mail.
Okay.
As opposed to iPad. Okay. All right.
Can you demonstrate one password?
No. No. Maybe.
Maybe. Try.
Problem is I never know what's in there and what state it's in, and I hesitate to turn them on.
Oh.
Okay. Anybody else?
Is there a phone number for password, one password, because I got to talk to somebody. Accidentally, I have two accounts and I need two passwords to get it.
I don't know if there's a phone number.
Write to them?
They've got a website, AgileBits Inc., and they've got a large fact frequency ask questions area, and then they've got a place where you can submit questions and they get back to you. But go to their website.
Because the news last night scared, I think, everybody about passwords.
I didn't see the news.
Well, it was on about how they steal your passwords. I mean, these people are brilliant.
That's because most people have good passwords like 1, 2, 3, 4,
They also have
5, 4, 3, 2.
Windows computers too.
Yeah. You know, I sent you a cartoon. I sent you all a cartoon showing one way to keep your passwords.
Yeah.
You know, just tattoo them onto your legs. Anybody else have a question? Over here.
I have a question about password also. When I first had it, and I never gone back to it, I put in too many characters and they didn't accept it. And so I was never able to get back into it. And I know they don't keep it. How should we do it?
Okay, this is the master password for one password. And
they say make a long one. I made a long one. I made one character too long.
One character too long.
And they wouldn't accept it with not having that character on.
Didn't know that.
Ed McGrath, here's an easy one. Working on an app on iPad, mail messages pop up in the middle of it. How do I stop that from happening?
Say it again.
Well,
We share a common problem. I couldn't hear you.
An app is running an iPad.
Okay.
All of a sudden, you get a new email and it pops up.
Okay.
Asks you to read it. How do I stop that from happening?
on this side. Okay, Becky.
Yeah, I've lost my Safari browser and I'd like to find a way of getting it back. I use Google a lot, I Google, but I want also to use Safari, but I've lost it and I can't get it back. It's a web browser.
You, okay.
Nothing.
Anybody else? There's one back there.
I haven't done one. How do you get the caps lock on the iPad?
Oh, do it
If
twice.
you hold it down, it's supposed to go into caps lock, but it doesn't on mine.
Do it twice.
What do you do it twice?
Yeah.
I'll try it before you.
Okay, there's a way, I think. Yeah.
I have, believe it or not, 2 iMacs, one up north, one down south. I finally gave up trying to coordinate those rascals through. And got a mini Mac. Basically, I have 2 very serviceable iMacs. And I'd like to know of a good way to dispose of them to schools or whatever. What do you do with an old Apple? How do you get the disk reformatted so that you could give it away?
Okay, anybody else? Georgia, since you've got the peacock seat, would you count the heads?
Sure.
Okay. No, here, we may still have some people coming in for late lunch.
Okay.
All righty. Let's deal with the question about the cap locks.
Got it. She was right. It's twice.
What?
Hit
You
it
have to
twice
hit it
and it
twice.
stays in cap lock.
You have to hit the arrow twice, the cap thing twice. and
I
stay
was
glued.
going to show that.
Oh.
Let's let him know.
Okay. Everybody knows that? Everybody heard the answer?
No.
No, okay. You get to something that would be there. And so here's I would be typing. Supposedly. Go turn on my Bluetooth here, sorry. Okay. Sorry when I'm not doing this quite right. Let's see if I can get this back up. All right. When your keyboard is visible, over here is the shift key. On the left or on the right is the shift key. And in order to, if you just hit it once and you type a letter, it capitalizes it and it goes away. But if you double tap, then it comes with a solid blue, and everything that you type from that point on is capital until you hit the blue shift key again to bring it down to lowercase. So that's the answer to that one. And I do like the fact that you answered the question, but no.
It was automatic.
No.
It's one thing I know.
I do want people in the meeting to answer the questions, but answer so that everybody knows the answer. Okay.
And it wasn't a dumb question.
No.
No.
Exactly.
There is no doubt.
All righty. The question about reinstalling Safari, you said it's lost. Have you've searched in your applications folder and it's not there?
I can't say I've actually searched for that now in the application folder. I've not done it on my iPad, no.
Well, there isn't. Is it in your iPad or in your Mac?
It'll be on my Mac, yes.
Okay. Well, One of the things that you can do is do a command space bar, and that'll bring up Spotlight.
Jerry, I don't know if he's lost it on his iPad or on his Mac.
It's on this, I've lost it.
So he's lost it on his iPad.
Oh,
How's that happen?
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, every time I put www.safari.com in, I get all these African tours.
No, not Safari.
I think he can reset it, reset the screen.
Am I?
Yeah.
There's a reset button for that. Reset it.
But it's not.
That's Safari.
If he looks
But
at,
he hasn't lost Safari, he's got it.
Oh, okay.
But that's not what I want. I want
if you look in general under Safari,
If I can get to it.
settings, Jerry,
I'm coming here.
okay.
Bear
Give
with
him
me.
a chance today. It's cold.
All right, settings.
And then scroll down on the left side. No, left side, Jerry.
I'm in settings general.
Go down.
Oh, like you don't want me in general then?
No.
Oh, a misdirection play out there.
Yes.
Okay.
There, it's above the iTunes and the App Store. There it
All right.
is. Okay, guys, pay attention. You asked a question.
What do you do now?
Yeah, where you go through that?
Jim, are you got it solved?
He's got Safari.
He's got Safari. What was the real question then?
Well, I wanted to, like, if I'm searching the web, I'll use Google to look around for something. And I thought you could do the same with Safari. You can have a web page with Safari with all different.
So you want some help in using Safari?
Well, yeah, probably
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Okay.
Google right now. You type it in there and search.
Well, let me open Safari. And here's some stuff here, and we can clear this out as soon as it gets loaded. All right. In this field right here where it says the go-to address, to the right of it is the search field. Up here on the top right, you can't quite see it, but it says search.
Okay.
This part right here,
Yeah.
that's where you put in this, that's the equivalent of your Google search
Okay,
capability.
but you can't set the page up like you can set it up in Google with all different dialog boxes there, like the weather, and other things. I pull up the stock prices and stuff.
Well, you can build.
I want to build a web page on that if I could.
I think you're talking about the bookmarks.
You can.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
right.
Then what you can do with this is right up here. These are all different places that I can tap on and go to. Okay, so these are my most usual places that I go to, and what I'm showing here are the two tabs that I want to keep open so I can quickly go between them. So you can put multiple tabs in to go between different sites.
Okay, I understand.
You want to create a page.
Marilyn, if he syncs with his computer, he'll have the same bookmarks on his iPad as he has on his computer.
Yes. Yeah, if you have your iPad and your computer synchronized through iCloud, then one of this area right here.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the iCloud, and when you tap on it, it would show this is showing the open tab on my computer at home at the moment because they're synchronized with the through iCloud. So you can synchronize your open tabs, and it will also synchronize the stored bookmarks between the two sets. Over here.
John, My problem is I get a lot of these things that, you know, I could click on. How do I get rid of some?
How do you get rid of?
Yeah, I don't want that many, you know, across my,
Push the X.
You mean the tabs?
the tabs, yeah.
Yeah, just touch the X.
Rick?
Both the tabs, yeah. I'm gonna make that a plus.
Whatever tab is open, there should be an X on it.
Right over in the,
Oh, I see, I see. that.
right over here.
Okay.
No,
Right over
right
here.
on the X.
Look up here.
Here's the next.
Look up here. Right over here on the left of the tab is an X.
Right.
You tap on that and that will close the tab.
Thank
You
you.
can't do it with the arrow.
What?
You can't do it with the arrow. You have to do it.
You know, I will occasionally tap here, but I'm displaying my iPad. Georgia?
I wanted to go back to John's question in terms of how he sets it up.
Go ahead.
On his well, John, I'm Georgia Murray.
Yeah,
First
I
thing
know.
I would rather, for me, because I find set up on the iPad harder. If you're comfortable with your map, I'd set up how you want your Safari to show on your map, and then when it syncs, it'll transfer. And what I would do is you look right below the first line that Jerry starts with JWK sites. If you can magnify that, Jerry. No, blow it up, excuse me. Your zoom. Okay, that first line of JWK sites, those to me, those are bookmarks Jerry has personally created. And he also has, on his map, said, these should go in the bookmarks bar, which is your first level of bookmarks. And then if I understand what you want to do, so you set up, John, A, B, C, D, however you like. And then when you turn on, once those have reflected to your iPad, then, like what Don Peacock does first thing in the morning, Don hits, because he wants like 11 pages open.
Yeah.
So Don hits page, bookmark A, B, C, D, E, and then while they're loading, he gets his coffee, and then when he comes back, they're all displayed, and then he just bounces between them. Now, is that what you want to do?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
thank
something
you,
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, sometimes they set themselves up because you were on internet.
But John, they don't set themselves up. You have done something. You
What?
moved to another page and created another tab, or you left it open when you went away. But it's not that they spontaneously propagate, though it seems like they do.
Well, I got here Lufthansa, for example. I was just once looking for, fares and stuff, and then it stays there.
What?
Is it in your tab or is it in your bookmark?
It's in the tab.
It's in the tab.
If you close the tab, it'll go away.
Okay.
Now, the other thing is there's a setting in your general preferences that says when I close an application, should I restore all the windows that were open, or should I not restore all the windows that were open the next time? And if you have it set so the windows get restored, then whatever you had open will come back. And if Safari's got 15 tabs open, it will open them all up again. Now, what Georgia was describing that Don Peacock does is over here on the left is this window, this thing that looks like an open book. Okay, that's your bookmarks. And down here you can create all the different things that you want to be. These are the things that are in the menu here. Here's the menu, and then you can build folders and you have all these things. Now, one of the options of these folders is that you can say, whenever I click on that folder, it opens up everything that's within that folder. So if you have 15 sites that you want to open, you put them in a folder, and you set the folder so that whenever you open the folder, tap on the folder, click on the folder, it opens everything in there as multiple
You
tabs.
scroll through each of those pages.
And then once they're open and you've got multiple tabs, when you come back here, here's one tab, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. Then you can move between tabs either by clicking, or you can use a command shift and the arrow. So I just did a command shift in the left and went to the zip. I did a command shift and it's going to here, and so on. So I can go back and forth. For some reason, they're not loading. But so you can move back and forth between the tabs very easily using the keyboard or by clicking it with the mouse. Jim.
Jim Corsica, I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying, Jerry. In the bookmarks bar, you can have folders.
Yes.
And within each folder, when you click the folder, all of a sudden, all those tabs come up?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, you can put a folder in the bookmark bar, and then to go back to here,
He's showing you now.
I have a folder over on the side called JWK Sites. See, it's got this thing, and that's why you know it's a folder. When I tap on it, here are all the bookmarks that are in that folder, and if I have it set so that if I had it set that I wanted to that way, then when I tapped on it, it would open up all those as separate tabs.
Where is that set?
Yeah, how do you do that? You to automatically open?
I don't like questions. Let's try preferences.
No, on the iPad.
I don't know in the iPad. I use the iPad to read books and look at email.
That's a good question from Nick.
Well, if you do it on your laptop, doesn't it transfer it to the
I think it would.
Yes.
I think it would. But anyway, there are ways to have it open automatically in the preferences so that it will fill up your whole screen with all the tabs. But I don't know exactly how to do it in the iPad.
Does that work only with an Apple or will it transfer to a PC?
Or only an Apple or what?
It won't transfer to a PC.
Can you do this from a kit?
I have no idea if it can work in a PC. I only used a PC twice in my life for 14 days. I'm pure as a driven snow.
You know what you missed.
All right. So that was not a lost in Safari, it was how to use Safari. Question about getting the Mac ready for sale and gifting. I've written a couple articles for the Naples Daily News on this process, and let's see if I can find that. It's probably the best.
Are you on the right internet?
I'm on the right internet.
Don't you go to the bug? Second one.
when you can get to our website,
That's what he's talking about.
this tab right here, Mac 411, is a listing of all the articles that have been published in the newspaper. And back here, February the 12th of 2010, there's an article here on selling your Mac. And if you click on it, then it will give the procedure that I suggest for how to get your equipment ready to give it away and safely get rid of all the data that is on it. It's sequentially, it's pretty straightforward, but it is multiple steps. Georgia.
I would just suggest that if you're thinking of giving it to a school or some organization, you confirm first that they want it before you go through these steps, because frankly, most of the schools don't want old stuff anymore.
They only got iPads.
Yeah, but even if, I mean, before you put it in the trash, you know, the recycle, even then you ought to clean out the computer of all your personal data and stuff like that.
But you don't have to set up a new user account and, you know, do that.
Okay.
That's all I'm,
Okay.
it's just less steps if it's going to the trash.
But it's difficult to get rid of the information. The steps in here will get rid of the information that's on the hard drive that could be sensitive. So if you go to the website and go back to that February article, you'll have a procedure. Georgia.
Thank you.
Dennis DiGiacomo said if you are going to trash it and you don't want to do Jerry's steps, he opened it and we smashed the hard drive with a hammer.
Yeah, but you may not be able to open some of these things.
True.
I have a question related to that.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed it says on there that go to iTunes that you authorize this computer. I was in the iTunes account the other day trying to get the right email for my messages and FaceTime, and in there it said this is authorized on 4 computers. And I only really want it authorized on 2 computers. And my only choice was to deauthorize all the computers. Is there a way to have a list of the computers that you can deauthorize the ones you don't want anymore and keep the ones you do?
You can only deauthorize the computer you're working at. Okay, so
Or all of them.
Or all
Or
of them.
all
but-
of them, right.
Or all of them. But if you've got 4 and you don't have, and there's 2, you've only got 2 computers, but iTunes knows of 4, it meant that when you got rid of an earlier computer, you did not deauthorize it, and it's still carrying it. So you need to deauthorize before you replace an old computer with a new computer. Otherwise, then you deauthorize all of them, and that's not that. I mean, I've not had to do that, but that's not supposed to be that hard to do. But
Yeah, but then you want to authorize it
then you have to come back and
reauthorize that
reauthorize
computer.
the 2 that you want.
And then that will show up in your account, or how do you do that?
After you deauthorize a computer, you sign in the app into iTunes, and it will say, who are you? And then you give it your Apple ID and your password, and that will authorize that computer.
Okay.
I'll get to you.
Marilyn, when my hard drive failed on my new MacBook Pro, and they just gave me a new machine, there was no time to deauthorize.
Right.
And even though I was scared to remove all, it's just what Jerry said, you remove all and you start all over again. And it works.
But you can still get into iTunes to do that.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It just means when you get to
You
iTunes,
just have to sign
you
it.
have to say who you are. Vicki?
If you do deauthorize all, though, I believe it's still, unless they've changed it, you can only do that once a year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have this, John, I have this classic iPad, iPad, and I'm thinking of sending it to some family members in Europe. I have to deauthorize it, or they won't be able to.
I would plug it into your computer and do a reset the factory conditions, and then send it over to them.
Okay. Does the authorization includes iPads?
I think so.
So it's going
Oh,
to be
it
in
does?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's, because it said computers, so that I didn't think it meant iPads, so then it should be correct. Because
Yeah.
I thought I had deauthorized my older computers when I got rid of them, but I didn't realize it included the iPads.
I don't think it does. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
You're allowed 5 devices.
Wait a minute, that's in, yeah, not built.
5 computers, it says, it doesn't say 5 devices.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was just thinking if it's all devices, they're going to have to increase that number to the
Yeah, because if you have an iPad, an iPhone, and a computer, and you've got, and you know, in our house, we have 6 devices altogether.
Does it say computer? I would assume, well, you said it says computer.
It says computer.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. How to stop notifications in your iPad. You're working on your iPad, an email comes in, and you're getting alerts.
You have mail notifications.
What?
Says you have a mail, you either dismiss it or read it. If you get 50 of them, it takes a while to dismiss them.
Notifications.
Notification.
Go into
Just went
notifications.
over that.
Where's notifications in this thing?
Settings.
Settings.
I'm in settings.
It's under Do Not Disturb.
Okay, let me get this back to here. Okay, I'm in settings and in notifications. One of the new things is with iOS 6 is this Do Not Disturb button, option right here, this one right here. That one will stop the notifications from getting in your face, and so you can work away and keep working. And then when it'll turn itself back to normal 24 hours later, or you can come back in and change it when you're finished concentrating. So this is one option, is click on notifications and then turn it off, and you've got the ability to accept calls from particular people, but this is one way to turn off all of the notifications. The other thing is that you, down here, below that, you've got each one of your applications, you've got the ability to control what they create in terms of notifications and whether you want notifications from them. For instance, I've got Bloomberg here, and if I tap on Bloomberg, then I would be able to change this from on to from on to off, and no more notifications from Bloomberg would come in while I'm working. So I've got the ability to individually control which applications get in my face. You know,
If you go back to the other screen. If you go up to edit, you see the 3 little lines next to each of the notifications?
yes.
If you tap on that,
What's that?
does that work?
No.
Oh, you hit done up there. Oh,
You
okay.
can move them up and down.
Yeah, you can slide them out of the notification center. You should be able to do that.
Nothing's happening.
You gotta read edit, I think.
Yeah, that's why he is in edit.
I touched edit.
Here.
And if you hit those three little lines, then it,
I'm tapping the hell out of it, nothing is happening.
Touch the three
No,
little
just
lines
touch
and
it.
slide it.
Just touch it and slide it up.
Oh, but that just changes the,
Yeah, but I think you can move it down into the not section.
right.
Keep going, there you go.
Okay.
Okay,
So that's the second way to turn it off.
right.
Because if I go into this one now and check on this one, it has been changed to off. So
Right.
there are two ways to turn it off, by sliding or by touching the button. But that's two of them. Now, if the other one is, if you, let's come back here to mail. Let's take one like Fox News. You can change the characteristics of what you get. You can change it to none, so that it's there, but it's not going to create an alert. So that's a way to still have them functioning, but not creating. You got banners. Banners come across, are there, and then they go away. So they're out there for about 5 or 6 seconds. And alerts are the most persistent. If an alert comes out, you've actually got to click on it to get rid of it. So I mainly use banners. Can I help you? Okay.
Yeah, they come down on the phone too.
What?
On the i5 phone, they come down. So.
I'm surprised that they have a limit on the length of the password. Do you know how many characters you had
I
put in?
don't remember. I did it several months ago, and at the time we were getting ready to move, so I didn't do anything about it, but they said, oh, make a long one, and maybe they said how many, and I did one more than what it had room for, and I thought, well, it's probably still okay. It wouldn't let me go in, then I did it without that, it wouldn't accept that, and because they don't give you password back, I didn't know whether I have an account, or if I have to start another account, or who to call, or what.
Okay. Well, I think, I'm pretty sure that 1Password now gives you the opportunity to change your master password. So that you should be able to, but it may be one of those situations where you have to know the old password in order to change the new one, or to reset it, in which case it throws away all the previously stored stuff. But it sounds like you don't have anything in there to start off with.
I don't have anything because I couldn't use it, and as I say, I tried without it.
Okay.
I still have that list of
Same as over here, I would suggest you go to their website, look through the frequency asked questions, and you can search on that. And conversely, if you don't see an answer, go into their forum and you can submit a question and they'll get back to you within about 24 hours. I'm not going to demo 1Password unless we have lots of time. Just to let you know that, Carl. I'm going to talk, I want to cover a couple things here about can we talk, is my title. And if you are using mail in iOS 6, it's there all the time and you don't know it, but in Mountain Lion, mail has a new characteristic. Let me change to let me mail, in Mountain Lion, you had a feature, you had capabilities starting with Lion and maybe the Snow Leopard, which was called threads, which meant that if a message was sent and somebody replied to it and you replied to it, they were all connected and you could display that 7 messages together even though they might be separated in time in your display, they could be shown together so that you could see message 1, message 2, message 3, message 4. The industry calls that a thread. Apple, in its own way, calls that a conversation. So with Mountain Lion, they said, you can have your messages show up as in conversations or not. And if you go into View, Customize Toolbar, you have the ability to bring up into the toolbar this one, which is conversations, and this one, which is show hide related messages. So I had those in, here's my toolbar with conversations, here's my toolbar with show related messages. Right now, I don't have them where they're linked together, but there are some characteristics here. If I click on this one, you see that this one down here has a blue color. Does it show?
Yes.
Kind of. Well, even though they're not physically close together, now the mail is telling you that these messages with the same color are from the same thread. But if you click the conversations button, then all of the threads get put together. So here is this one that I just was clicked on from Don on this family called Crucillus. And you see that there's a flippy triangle here on the side. And so if I click this down, it shows that here are 2 messages, 3 hours apart, but they are on the same thread, and so therefore they're put together for you to view. Here is a set of messages that all are welcome to NMUG, which is a message that goes out to a new member. So the conversations is a nice way of looking at your messages and see the stream that's gone back and forth. I recommend using conversations, but knowing what it is. The new feature, and let me get up here to one, which is very disturbing, is show related messages. When you click on show related messages, it goes beyond your inbox. It goes to every one of your messages, every place in your mail, and shows anything that has that same thread in it. So if you are on a Gmail account and Gmail is keeping track of all your messages in the all folder, and you've got messages that are in the trash folder, and you've got messages that are in the sent folder, and you've got messages in your inbox, and you put on related messages, what was the thread that you thought was 6 might be 15 different messages. And it's very, very agonizing and disturbing to say, why do I have all these messages here that I didn't need? In mail preferences under viewing, right down here, view conversations, is this checkbox that says include related messages. If that is checked on, then the default is that related messages will be always active. If it's not checked on, then you can control it by clicking that the item that's in your toolbar. So I think my recommendation is don't have this checked. Have it in your toolbar, and then you make the decision if you want mail to search through your entire mail folders to find all the related messages that are there. Clear as mud? Incidentally, George, last night I thought the guy was drinking as much water as Paul Ryan.
He's drinking Diet Coke.
Okay. So we covered conversations and related messages. For those of you who were here last week, Mitch talked about the very important people aspect of mail in the iPad, and I wanted to tell you that that's also available in mail. Works a little bit different, but no, I don't want the set. I want the inbox. Okay. Here is an email from Don Peacock, and if I select it and I come in here a little bit closer, is this star showing on the screen? If I decide that Don Peacock is a very important person to me, then if I come over here and I click that star, it creates a VIP smart mailbox that will collect all the messages from Don Peacock for me to see. So if I click here under VIP, here are the 115 messages that are in my computer from Don Peacock with that email address. It didn't move them. It's a smart mailbox. So that means that they're still where they were, because these are, you can see some of them are in the deleted, some of them are in the inbox. So that it lets me see all the messages from Don Peacock. If I
Get rid of them?
What?
Can you get rid of the deleted ones?
No, only by going into trash and emptying the trash. Okay. If you decide that you don't want Don Peacock in your list, you come back here to the star, and you click the star, and that clears out the VIP. So it's a reversible process. But this is the method in your Mac to get somebody into the VIP area. Okay. As I said, it is a smart mailbox. It is not physically moving it. I personally prefer using rules, but that's the process here. Now let me put Don back in. Let me change something here. Here is the mail in my iPad, and I've got lots of accounts, but here is the VIP, and you see right now it is empty. I don't have anybody in the VIP in here. If I come back over here to this one, and I create Don as a VIP, and I come back here, well,
No, it does come over, because I just did it.
Yeah, it's supposed to come over.
How do you do it?
You set it
Oh,
up.
I'm sorry. These two computers are visible to each other, but they're not synchronized. Okay. Sorry. But anyway, if the process over here is in your iPad, you click on Add VIP, and you get access to your contacts list, and you can search up here for Peacock. Do that, and now this will show all the messages from Don Peacock that are in the iPad. So the method of adding somebody to the VIP list is slightly different, but the functionality is the same. Any questions on that?
If you go to VIP and it doesn't give you that add function, how do you get that add function? I'm talking about an iPad now, so I don't know if that makes a difference.
You have to go to the inboxes.
You have to be on a no, I don't think so.
Well, I ain't inbox, I go ahead and do the
I'm on
question.
inbox. That's my granddaughter. How do I make them VIP?
How do you get to VIP? I mean, I got it, I just went to mailboxes.
Yeah, back to mailboxes, there's a VIP.
Right.
And if this area right here, this right arrow, you touch that and hold it. Okay, and then that's where you can get to this and add people or delete people. But if you touch on the right-hand side of it.
Okay.
I got it.
You got it?
Got it.
So
If you don't hold
I think it's a nice feature, but you may end up with a lot of messages showing in the mailbox. And as I was showing you, the deleted messages come through. It isn't as smart as a rule which says only look for new messages or whatever. And Jim. Let's go back to the mail. Now, I'm here looking at this message,
Okay.
and if I use the up arrow or the down arrow, I can move between it.
Where are you doing that?
I'm using the up arrow on my keypad.
Oh, the direction? Oh.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
So that
I feel stupid.
moves you through them without having to reach up and click.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Nobody told you.
All right, let's see what happens with one password. All right, now what are the questions?
She's got one password for her iPad. I was telling her how big it is on the Mac.
It's actually better on the Mac.
Yeah, that's what I told her.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out before I spent $50.
What?
I said, that's what I was trying to figure out before I spent $50.
Well, let's let me see here.
I mean, do you have to literally put everything in manually? All your,
Well, yeah, it's not easy to demonstrate, but if you go to it, if you have it active and it's running, and you go to a website,
okay.
okay, and let's see, where can we go? click to sign in, okay? And Yahoo is asking for my ID and my password, and I don't know what it is. But what you do is you put in the password manually, or your user ID and your password manually, and when it goes in, one password will put an additional line right up here saying, do you want to save that password? And if so, what do you want to call it? Okay. So when you do that, you click yes, and you name it, and then when you're done, it will be added to this list right here as one. So
it's literally like my piece of papers that I have, my 3 sheets of papers with the password and.
yeah, but eventually, but you do it once, and then then the next time that you go there, it will say it will submit it for you.
But
Sure, how about the key on that? Go back to Yahoo on that. The key up there in the upper left. Yeah, I see the key up there.
Okay.
Okay. When you get to sites for the second time, then this one is saying, oh, we recognize that you're at Yahoo, and we have a stored password for you. Would you like to use it? And so then you click here, and you say yes, and it fills it up, and logs you in, and you're into your secure site. Now, the other thing that 1Password has is for your sites like Adobe, this right here is a launch. So if you click here, it will take you to the site. So once you've got it stored, it's kind of like it also can serve as your bookmark facility. You have the ability with secure notes, and I don't know what this was going to say. Oh, okay. Secure notes is a place where you can put notes that are for your own purpose. Say, like on my home computer, I have all the complex stuff for my routers and things like that as separate secure notes, so that I've got an encrypted place that I can get back to for how do I reset the router if I have to do it and store all that information. So you've got that for your software. When you buy software, you get a license code. You can store the same information that the vendor gives you there. I think it's a very powerful tool.
So you like this?
Yes. I do not like the iPad one. Okay.
No, that's why I put in, and
I do not like the iPad one, and the reason is because iOS does not let two applications talk to each other and run. So what Angel Bits had to do was to create their own browser. And it's not using Safari browser, it's using their own browser. And when you get to a more complex site, like most of your financial sites, they really can't handle it. So I've got it, but I don't use it. And I don't think.
Well, doesn't all the information go in the Dropbox?
Now, the information is, the encrypted stuff is stored in Dropbox, so that if you've got multiple computers, it will move between multiple computers. But I'm talking about Macs, okay?
I thought it was also.
Well, it's brought through the Dropbox to your iPad, but you still have to use their browser, and it just isn't as powerful. Jim?
Jerry, does 1Password come with a video tutorial?
I couldn't find it. Maybe it's not for the,
Do you recall?
I don't remember.
Okay. I mean, that might be something on lynda.com, right?
No.
Is lynda.com strictly Apple?
No. No, but it's not, I don't think there's anything for 1Password on lynda.com.
I don't remember looking at a video tutorial.
Okay.
But I'm sure there's
But
great.
But they've got lots of useful information, more like reading than videos.
Okay.
Once you get, put in your username and password for a particular website, and then you need to change it, how do you do that? Can you go into your account and change it?
Okay. Let's say that you're at a site and they say it's time, it's 6 months and you've got to change your password.
Right.
You can change it at the site, and One Passport will recognize that it's a different password, and it will say, do you want to save it?
Okay.
So you can save it. If you want to do it through the edit way, then you can also edit.
But doesn't it save multiple, it saves all of them?
Oh yeah, then you got to go back in and delete the one or so.
Oh, okay. It might be interesting, maybe we can, maybe I can, you know this guy pretty well, don't you? One Password? Maybe you can ask him if he'd be interested in doing a remote presentation.
You've got, I think that's enough.
Are there any downsides to using it?
Confusing.
I think
Well, for example, if you have it on your computer, but you don't have it on your iPad, and you go to the same website on your iPad that you go to on your computer, what happens?
well,
You got to manually put it in.
you have to,
I mean, you can just manually put it in like you normally would?
yeah, or you can copy and paste.
Yes.
You can copy and paste the complex password from One Password into the sites.
Yeah, but I mean, I couldn't just type in my regular password for
Oh, sure
that
you can.
site? Oh, okay.
Sure, you can work without One Password.
So you can choose to use the one password or choose to type in your username and password?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the thing is when you use it a lot, let's come back here. In addition to the stored information, there are things on the side here to generate passwords. So I clicked on the combination lock, and it said, here's a password, would you like to use this one? And I will never remember this, but One Password you use it for. Okay, and you got the, you crank this up pretty far, you can play games with the characteristics. So you can generate a good password. It's stored away, but you're never going to remember them. So once you get into this, like me, I've got 350 different stored passwords, and probably 347 of them are different. And I have no idea other than One Password. So yeah, the downside is if One Password quits working and I can't get back into anything.
Wow.
Two things. There's an email that just arrived from One Password.
Yes.
That says that they have, or are working on a new iOS program that'll make it a lot easier and clearer. And also, Carl, you found the YouTube, right?
Yeah, on YouTube, there's a video.
There's a video.
Okay. Vicki.
Marilyn, in response to your question, I know that Dennis DiGiacomo is not fond of One Password, but I don't really know the reasons.
Okay.
So if you ever have
Because
a
I do
conversation,
remember
with
hearing
him,
at
you can
these
ask
meetings
him.
that people had problems with it for certain reasons.
And yeah.
I really need my passwords when I'm away with my iPad. As home,
Well, you can access it. It's just a little inconvenient because you have to go through the app. you don't go directly through Safari to the site. You have to go through to the 1Password app and open that up and then access the site through the app. So it's a little inconvenient, and where it sometimes is a problem is if the site that you are accessing has changed their sign-in in any way. Sometimes you can't get into it through the iPad app. But you have access, though. I mean, you get into the app and you can see what your password is, so you can just then do it manually.
Here is 1Password on my iPad. I just open it up, and it's got all. You know, here's the sites that are stored, and when you select one, it comes up, and you use this, and that starts their browser, not Safari, and then you click sign in, and you're on. But this one is a simple site because you get the user ID and the password on the same screen. Financial sites get into multiple screens.
Yes, right, correct.
So it does work, but it's not using the browser. It's not using Safari. It's got its own browser.
Jerry?
Yeah.
In a magazine, I saw a magic stick, a USB stick, that was to save your passwords. You just have to remember one password. So I went to the Apple store to see if they have one, because this one in the magazine was only for Windows, and Apple doesn't have one. So they got to go up.
Alrighty.
Just a question for you. When you have these, Donna, when you have all these other passwords, you have to put each one in
Once.
And for both systems, or don't you use?
Well, as George says, if you put it into, I put it into my Mac once. 1Password uses Dropbox, and the same set of passwords are over in my iPad now for Dropbox over there.
I played with this when it came out in a bundle, and I could not make it work. My son couldn't make it work. Yeah.
You have, it doesn't automatically use Dropbox. You have to set it up to use Dropbox.
Yes, you're right. They're setting in the preferences. You got to tell them that. All righty. Have a great Turkey Day, you folks. And
Sure.
Do Brits give Thanksgiving?
I have an old version